Elite Games.
Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt, and now the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer with AEW. Brand family, put your hands together for our incredible guest. Here it is. Yay! Mr. Lance Archer.
Extremely red, it was cold, and it was just, we ate it, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And even Shelton was like, yeah, this is not bad, it's pretty good. And then finally we're like, well, what is it? And he was like, they were like, oh, this horse meat. And Shelton was just like, no, horses are pets, they're not food, no. And they're like, oh, good tasting pet. I was working in a nightclub in Austin, Texas, and the guy who owned the nightclub knew that I was a big wrestling fan. Everybody did. And he knew a guy that randomly started a pro wrestling school in Austin, Texas. And, he made the introduction, and he was like, hey, man, go check it out. He called me, and he was like, hey, man, we think you did great. We'd love you to start the school, this and that. Here's the price. And I went, yeah, I'm a poor college kid. I don't have the money to pay for that. And he goes, well, how much can you pay? And I go, $200 a month. And he goes, okay, cool, we'll do that. And I went, okay, and now I'd like back myself in the corner, either A, go do it, or B, come up with another excuse. And do you remember Lollipop?
Yes, I do.
So Lollipop more or less is the reason I got my chance in TNA. Steve Kern, Dr. Tom, and Norman Smiley, and all these different people. Dusty, who's helped with everybody with their promos. That's beyond invaluable. And then obviously getting on the road, at the time, the Arn Andersons, Dean Malenkos, the Fit Finleys, the list goes on and on with the people that could help and were influential in that.
Right. I remember James Storm came up to me and said, they're letting you go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what? Like, it was such a shock. I was on top of the world, and it was like, you're done. You're done. And I'm like, what? And he's like, there's a rumor, of course, who, spreading a rumor about me. I'm like, I'm not suing the company. Like, why would anybody say that? Because I was getting too much camera time, and it was time for me to go. And